What if I were to tell you that there's a way in which you could triple, maybe even quadruple the revenue you bring into your business? What would an extra 2 to 3 days of free time do for you in your life? What would it feel like if you were to step into the true CEO, business owner that you've always dreamed of being? That calling that God put into your heart so you could go and expand the kingdom and make a massive impact in the world. Sounds far fetched, doesn't it? Because according to Sky Business Inc. and Forbes, 75% of small to medium sized business owners find themselves exactly in a position where you may be at today, a space of feeling overworked, overwhelmed, with no end in sight. Almost like you put all the gas to the pedal to the metal, as the saying goes, but the wheels are spinning. You're fuming, not going anywhere. And if you are going somewhere, it feels like you're throwing your life out the window. What's the point of experiencing a high level of success if your health is down the drain? They say that the sick person has one wish in his life: to be healthy, and that the healthy person has a million wishes in his life. So let's not become the person that wishes we were healthy. Instead, let's prevent by now putting health to the side. What if you're experiencing a high level of success in your business, but now your relationships are going down the drain? Your wife, your spouse, your friends, maybe even your children don't even know who you are. Maybe you don't know who they are. That's not the reason why you started a business. You started a business more than likely to leave a legacy for the long term, to be able to tell your children that it was worth it, as they are experiencing a whole new quality of life that maybe you were given the gift of, or maybe you never had the privilege of experiencing. But now you are committed to bringing that into the picture. But in spite of all this, we typically think that the only way in which we can scale the business is by working harder, more time, more hours. But isn't it interesting? Albert Einstein said it best. The definition of insanity is really simple: doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Today, we're going to explore some new things you could do, some new perspectives, some new ideas, ways in which you could get yourself out of this rat wheel that you are in, allowing you to experience the fullness of why you really started the business. We're going to explore ways in which you could increase your revenue, get more time back for yourself, and show up to work and to your home with a whole new level of joy and presence. Because ultimately, that's why you started your business, to experience that. Now, if you don't, it feels like scaling your business right now. Maybe this is where you're at right now. You feel like scaling the business means it'll just add more pressure. Because if there is more growth, that means there's going to be more fires to put out. If there is more growth, there's going to be more stuff on your plate to do. If there is more growth, you don't know where you're going to find the bandwidth, the time, and the energy to actually get it done. This is because you're scaling the wrong way. The real problem isn't even your market, it's not your offer, it's not even your team, and it's not even the audience that you're selling to. The real problem you're experiencing is you are building your business not based on systems. You are right now thinking that it is up to you and your time to be able to make the business work. However, you ever been to Starbucks? Let's say I'm in Florida. You go to a Starbucks in Florida, then you go to another Starbucks, let's say in New Jersey, which is where I'm from, and then you go to California. Then you could even go into Colombia. And it doesn't matter where you're at, the Starbucks feels the same way. It operates the same way. Everything seems to be in a very particular order. Now, I personally don't drink Starbucks. I think it's terrible. I think it's one of the worst coffees, but don't hate me. I hope I don't get sued for that. But the example why I bring that up is because they have a system in place. They are not building the business dependent and relying upon the team that is at the coffee shops. No, they have a system, and within the system, they then equip the people to be able to operate the systems. Because maybe right now, you find yourself being stuck in patterns. You ever find yourself like you're trapped being the go-to person for everything? Whether you have a new potential lead that comes in, it's up to you. You have a client that has a question, you have to be the one to answer it. There needs to be some decisions made. It's up to you to make the decisions. Now, I don't know particularly at what season in your business you are in. There are going to be times when, yes, you will have to wear all the hats. But if you're at a point of scaling your business, you're more than likely beyond that. You're not at a level where you're hiring people that are able to take some of those things off of your plate. Now, you may not necessarily be taking a full step back just yet, or maybe you are. If you're in a position where you're looking to scale, you need to multiply yourself. And if you are the person that has to be the one involved with every single part of the business, it's going to be really challenging for you to scale your business because your time is limited, your energy is limited, and so is your bandwidth. Do you feel like whenever you delegate an action and a task to somebody, it just creates more problems? You say, you know what, I actually really do need to create a system for this particular task, but I just don't want to be, I just don't want to have to explain this task to somebody. I personally know a business owner I've been working with. I'm saying, hey, we need to create some systems in this particular area in the business. I'm gonna not give too many details for privacy purposes. And he says, well, I would love to, but I just don't have the time to do so. I would love to have a system in place for this and then systemize it so I can have my team work the system, but I just don't have the time. So I'm gonna keep doing it myself until I have the time. Well, guess what? He's been in this pattern. He's trapped here and he's been here for way too long. He's starting to understand that this is the idea of the chicken or the egg. Which was it going to be? Am I going to take some time to build the system and then bring a person to work the system, eventually opening up my time? Or am I going to be in this place where I'm at, where I don't have time to build a system? So I'll keep doing the work that needs to get done. I definitely won't have the time then. And on top of that, I'm going to be required being in other places at the same time. He's recognizing that this pattern of behavior that he's had up until now is not going to really support him in the long term. Thank God that he's open and willing to explore. Why? Because now he's looking at how could he now systemize his business in such a way where he opens up space and time for himself. Again, bringing him to experience the fullness of why he started a business, which is to experience a better quality of life. Business owners, my friends, if you are out there right now struggling to build your business and you are throwing your health, your life, your relationships to the side, it is not worth it. It is not worth the people that right now you are putting to the side. If you are not taking a holistic approach to your business and you're not in a continuous process of balancing your life, because it's a consistent pattern, it's a consistent practice. You know, it's like people think I can't be in balance because if I'm in balance, then I'm going to leave some things to the side. What I'm inviting you to explore is that it's not just you're in balance, it's you're balancing. It is an active practice. It's not something that you do and then you stop. It's like as simple as this. When you are walking, you are in a actually forget walking. When you are standing, you're going through a consistent practice of balancing. Try it next time when you're standing up. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and see how hard it is just to stand still. You could do it for sure. Maybe if you're like, oh, I don't see a difference. Okay, pick up one leg. Keep your eyes closed. See, even as you're standing still, how challenging it is for you to stand still because you're balancing. It's an ongoing practice. So we need to be in the intention of bringing balancing into our lives, especially as the business is going to scale and grow. Now, there are going to be seasons, and I'm going to give you caveats because it's important. There are going to be seasons where you're going to be 100% for a set period of time. Now, in that set period of time, you're more than likely going to be building out the things that we're speaking of in this video, like systems, like processes, like team development. It is in those times when you are fully dialed in that is going to give you the long term. If you are much more focused on just the short term, getting the task done and that's it, you're going to be in this continuous and consistent short term task process, leading you to a place where you're not necessarily going to grow the business. It's going to be hitting walls continuously. So what you got to do is take the time to maybe put in some time and energy and effort for a quote unquote sprint in which you are focusing in on the key processes and systems and team development within the business. Eventually, as that sprint is complete, you're going to have now runway down the road. Because maybe you also find yourself in this place where you feel like, and you say to yourself, this is a paradigm shift, by the way. You continuously tell yourself, I just need to work harder. And eventually, I'll have more time for myself. If this is you, explore that right now. How long have you been thinking that? How long have you been in this place where you keep telling yourself just a little bit longer, just a little bit harder? I'm not one to tell you to not work hard. I'm saying work smart. And as you work smart, okay, bring a sense of rigor into what you're doing, a sense of intention. So what you are building is not just going to be for the short term, but it's going to be for the long term. It's really key if you're not clear about where you are at. Because right now, the world in which we're in, we live in hustle culture. It's almost like a badge of honor means we are going to be busy 24/7. Now, I don't know about you. I love spending time with the Lord. I love spending time in rest. I love spending time with my wife. I love being by the pool. I love going to the beach. I love riding my bike. I am not one that is going to hustle till I die. That is not the philosophy with which I have chosen to live life. In fact, that goes totally against what biblical scripture tells me. The Bible tells me his yoke is easy and his burden is light. That tells me very, very simply, it is not just up to me. There is something much bigger at play. I just have to get out of the way. If you are caught up in this hustle culture, the hustle till you till you die idea, there needs to be a shift. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a similar position a couple of years down the road, and maybe you'll be exactly where you're at. Or worse yet, you'll find yourself in a place of success feeling completely empty, which is exactly where I was at a couple of years back. I was experiencing success, yet not feeling the actual joy of it. Why? Because I had put to the side the things that actually mattered, and I was focused in on the wrong things. I don't want you to do that. You don't want to do that. We hear too many stories out there of people that are highly successful not experiencing the joy of life. You being able to be here right now is going to be an opportunity to actually explore how you can develop a leadership within your company to develop a thriving business, which is why I created a simple assessment, 3-minute assessment. It's going to open up a lot for you. This is a leadership assessment to help you understand where you are currently at in your leadership journey. If we are going to ever get wherever we wish to get to in this context, expanded business, higher levels of leadership and influence, we must first understand where we are at. This 3-minute assessment will literally give you a couple of questions. I think it's 7 questions total, in which you'll have a clear understanding of where you're at. You'll start to get a glimpse as to where you're standing in your leadership journey. Now, why that's important is because it's going to give you some action steps to take so you can evolve. And it doesn't matter if this is the first time of you leading a team, maybe it's just you leading yourself. Perfect. That's the perfect place to begin. Maybe you've had a couple of years under your belt in leading others and influencing others. Great. There's always opportunity for growth. And maybe you've been in this for 10 years plus and you're seasoned at this. And if that is you, you know that leadership never ends. There's always new layers. There's always new things to learn. So go down below, simple link, name, phone number, email, really easy, 3 minutes, and you'll get a whole understanding of where you're at in your leadership journey. So now let's begin. Let's continue this and let's explore some solutions, because now you understand the problem that we're in. Your business is stuck and you're not growing and you're experiencing a lack of presence. So what do? We need to shift the perspective with which we are building our business. And yes, I got some notes over here to make sure I'm staying on track, because I can speak and I can easily go off the rails. Now, scaling does not always necessarily mean more stress, more pressure, and more work. Yes, I said that correctly and you heard that right. More growth doesn't necessarily mean more stress, more pressure, and more work. The right growth. And we want to explore what this looks like. And this is where the freedom formula comes into the picture. The freedom formula is for you because it's going to support you as an entrepreneur and business owner to effectively and systematically grow your business, not hustle through it. We are not told to hustle and toil. Or excuse me, not hustle. That's not the biblical scripture. There's another word, toil. We're not supposed to be in pain as we're growing this. With him, again, it's simple and it's easy. So we're going to look, what is this freedom formula? Let's take a look, a couple different things. Number one, here's what you need to start looking at. What tasks within your business are repeatable? Like, what are the things that are done consistently day in and day out? What are the things that you or your team has to do on a weekly, daily, monthly, even annual basis? What you're starting to do there is you're starting to look at the tasks that will be automated. When you can look at the things that are done consistently, continuously, you'll see, okay, maybe this task that right now I am doing manually, I can actually automate. especially now in the world of AI, in the world of technology. We can take so many actions that are repeatable and have the system do them for us. And you will be shocked at how many things right now you are doing that you are doing manually that could very easily be automated by a machine and a technology that will open up so much time for you. Not only will it give you the most valuable asset of your life, which is time, it'll give you the biggest tool, attention. It'll give you the ability to have now more bandwidth so you can look at the things that maybe up until now you haven't had the bandwidth, the attention to be able to look at. Next, you want to delegate the outcomes, not the tasks. Why is this important? Because when you start to delegate an outcome, you are now giving the other person the freedom to evolve in their leadership. You're not necessarily also being the one that has to give the exact 1, 2, 3 steps to get the outcome done. As you grow and as more people come onto your team, you want to get away from that. You want to help your team think about how they think. You want to teach them about how they think. Because up until now, most people, including you and me, we operate through life thoughting all over ourselves, where we're not necessarily present and conscious of what we're thinking of. We're just going through life and thought comes and thought goes, and it's like the wind. And you ever catch yourself anxious, overwhelmed, angry, upset, and you're like, why am I even upset and angry? It's because you're not conscious of what's going on up here. And the river that is your mind has now taken over the boat, and your boat is rocky, baby. It is getting full of water, and next thing you know, you're going to be underwater. So start to delegate the outcomes. Give the team the ability to scale and grow into their true leadership. Not only is it going to support you in opening up time for yourself, it's also going to help you understand who is the next person that could be a good candidate for growth within the company. Who is the individual that I could work with hand in hand to help them develop? Maybe I was blessed when I started working at Beyond Marketing, a digital marketing firm that's still in operation today. Scott gave me a massive opportunity of being around individuals that I wouldn't have been otherwise. However, he did so because he was giving me outcomes, not tasks. And as we were figuring out the outcomes together, I was required to grow. He gave me the tools to do so. So you as a leader will also be required to give your employees and team members the tools to grow. But remember, you must be the one to help them expand and grow. It's not up to them. According to Harvard, 90% of people in the workspace are doing just enough to get by. Only 10 are operating from a growth mindset. That should tell you there is something that is missing in most people. And it's not that there's wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with us. It's just the way in which we've grown up. And this is why most people that start a business fail, because they don't understand what really goes on in the back and that needs to happen in order to see success. Start to look at what decisions do you make on an ongoing basis that you can fire yourself from. Sounds funny, huh? Take yourself out of the equation. Fire yourself from daily decision making. Bring in a team. Bring in a consultant. Bring up your team. Help them develop the necessary skill sets to actually make decisions. When you fire yourself from making decisions, again, you're doing just the second part of delegating the outcome. You are continuously improving the team's ability to grow and to evolve and to expand, giving them the chance to actually develop leadership, allowing them to show up in the business in a completely new way. And the moment that you really give somebody the opportunity to own their role completely, you have somebody with the potential that will be with you for life, because that individual will feel responsible to helping you build a business. Why? Because they feel like they own it. This is why some of the biggest companies in the world today are so big on culture, because they understand the only way that we're going to grow is by helping the team develop. I have a story for you with this, where one of my clients was in a position where it was just him. He was just building the business on his own. He had a couple of contractors, but he wanted to scale. He was at a point where he was seeing just enough business growth where he was happy, but he wanted to grow. There was something that was missing. He wanted more profitability. He wanted more revenue. He was also experiencing something at home that he wasn't sure why. He had the results, but he didn't necessarily have the experience. It was because he was missing the necessary tools. He had some of the systems in place, automation, delegation. However, he wasn't necessarily bringing up the people up and wasn't also giving himself the space to fire himself from making decisions. Now, after we worked together for about 6 months, what happened? His business doubled in revenue. He went from 20,000, actually more like triple. He went from 25,000 in monthly revenue to 60,000. He increased profitability up about 30%, brought in about 3 different employees and a couple of different contractors. And guess what? He also had a transformed relationship with his girlfriend. And this is what the business operating at new levels can do for you. It'll open up the opportunity where things that you didn't even know could be improved will be improved. Because where once your energy was only focused on one thing, you're going to have the ability to now focus on other areas. After working with us, after we worked together, we're having a conversation. It's like, dude, I never expected that I would have this relationship that I now have. It was a beautiful thing because, again, as we build internally, everything externally starts to shift, especially as we're operating with principles that lead to joy and presence and peace, principles that really have us grounded in a truth that is as solid as this table in which I am sitting. Well, I'm not sitting on, but the phone is on. This is really important because as you are building your business, you must have direct attention as to what are the ways in which you're going to scale your business. And we've already encountered the reasons why you should. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in a similar position you're at today, wherever position you're at today, in not necessarily a level of fulfillment. We saw the problems and we saw the solutions. Automate what can be delegated, automate what can be automated. What is done repeatably, do so. Put it to a system. Allow the machine, allow the system, allow the technology to help you free up your time. Delegate outcomes, not tasks. Bring people up. Give people the autonomy to actually grow. Don't give directions because at that point you become the bottleneck. And fire yourself for making the decisions. You don't have to be involved in everything. You don't have to be involved in all the decisions because, again, you are the bottleneck. And if you're looking to have more time for yourself, you must take yourself out of the equation. Not like you're going to leave the business on its own. No, you're giving people the ability to grow and develop into new levels of leadership. If you really take this on for yourself, you'll see that your business will dramatically increase in revenue. Why? Because your team is going to be engaged in a completely new way. You're going to see the team members that were once doing just enough actually showing up with a level of intent that before you didn't even know was possible. You'll see a level of energy and dynamic within the culture that you honestly didn't believe you could actually foster. It's because you are no longer the person that is driving everything forward. No, your role, if you are leading a team or leading a company, building a business, your role is to make sure that you know where you are going, setting forth the necessary directions, having clarity of what the actions are, and equipping the people to help you get there as you continue to navigate the journey. Because as you right by now know, it is a never-ending journey. It consistently grows, especially as you are dealing with people. Now, you may be asking yourself, Sebastian, I can have AI do so much of what you're talking about. Beautiful. Good. However, AI is never going to give you the human to human interaction that a human being will give you. The dynamic of building a team, you can easily give. And look, like, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years in business. Neither do you. But what I do know is humans have been around for too long. Machines will not take over. There's a reason why so many companies are going back into the office and doing a hybrid model because we understand as humans, at least the people at the top that know what they're doing, understand that we need human interaction. We are tribal by nature. You ever gone out to dinner and find yourself talking about things that you normally wouldn't talk about? There's something that happens as we're eating dinner around a group of people that we love and we know love us. It creates a new level of belonging. And this is important in business because if you are going to rely just on the machines without the human interaction, you may cap yourself. You may not be able to actually get the juices totally flowing. So you want to automate as much as you can, but never forget the human aspect of it, especially as you develop the leadership. If you're going to scale your business, triple your revenue, increase more time for yourself, experience a whole new level of fulfillment, become the business owner, not the operator. It is your time. It is your time to start taking new actions on, to explore how can you now take what you've learned in this video and apply it into your business. Now, if you're ready to explore some deeper truths for the business and for yourself, if you are ready to look at how you can take your business to that next level, if you are ready to explore how your leadership is literally primed to expand rapidly, go down below. I've opened up my calendar for a couple of different sessions strategically to make sure that we are helping the right people build their businesses. Now, my promise to you is in 30 days, you see dramatic objective outcomes. If you don't pay a dime until you do. I am confident that when you take a look at the processes, when you take a look at the right perspective, when you actually develop the right leadership, your business is prone to grow. So now it's on you to make sure you're taking on the necessary actions on an ongoing basis. So go down below, do the assessment. And if the assessment is great, you'll have an understanding of where you're at within the actual leadership phase and process and journey. And then if you're ready to really dive deep and explore how we can take your business to that next level and experience a deeper level of fulfillment and joy in life, book a call directly and we'll dive in and explore how you are ready to go to the next level. See you next time.